above. They're off our sensors.
Hey everybody, how are you guys doing today? My name is Nick, otherwise known here as Avialence, and welcome to the Homeworld Remastered collection. This is actually a game I picked up last Wednesday. Yeah, last Wednesday. It's been a week as of now when I release this video to you guys. Game I've been playing the crap out of. I'm sitting on, I think, 14-ish hours at this point in time. I'd have to double check my Steam account, but it's around 14 hours. Ended up canceling 2 of my Dragon Age streams to stream this game because I was so damn addicted to it. And I got to give a huge thanks for any of you guys that were on my stream last Thursday, because you guys helped me out tremendously. I was trying to figure out the game and the verticality and everything, and a bunch of Homeworld veterans came in and helped me out. So thank you guys so much. But you know, why am I covering the Homeworld collection? Well, obviously it's because it's a space RTS, and you guys know how much I love space RTS here on this channel, but also due to someone I follow on the Rooster Teeth podcast, Ashley Jenkins. If you happen to be listening to this, thank you very much. I follow the no coverage that she does over there, and they did a couple Homeworld videos covering the remastering of the game in the process, and I thoroughly appreciated those videos and got into Homeworld Remastered, so to speak, because of those videos. So Ashley, if you happen to be listening to this, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. From one small YouTuber to, I guess, one of the biggest YouTubers, because you guys are with Rooster Teeth. Thank you guys so much for making all those videos, and especially you, Ashley, for mentioning it so many times that I just had to pay attention to it. But Homeworld Remastered, guys, is amazing. It's a space RTS game that came out originally in 1999, and all of the mechanics in it really blow my mind for being from 1999. It's a lot about squad management, tactical advantage, and things along those lines. Now, I had previously had the word Homeworld in my head, right? It previously existed in my head because of my modding, right? I frequently enjoy playing games that are modded these days, and one of those is Sins of a Solar Empire Rebellion, which you guys know as Sins of a Galactic Empire. It's a Star Wars mod I did here on the channel, as well as Star Wars Empire at War when I did the Republic at War mod, which focused mainly on space combat. I wasn't a fan of the ground, but I really enjoyed the space combat. And there were a lot of mods for the original Homeworld game and Homeworld 2 that focused on those Star Wars-based things as well. And I was always interested in Homeworld, but since it was a couple of years old, you know, I really didn't get into it. Now, that being said, I always had interest in the mechanics and things along those lines, but come watching all of the Homeworld Remastered stuff from Rooster Teeth, right, with the No, I got really interested in this game. So when it came out last week, I ended up picking it up on Tuesday. It had a discount, I think, of around $10, so I picked it up for 25 bucks. It is now priced at $34.99, and I highly do recommend it. This is a complete remastering of Homeworld 1 and Homeworld 2 by Gearbox, and what they've done is gone through with the original staff as well as a lot of modders that worked on mods for Homeworld, which I think is truly amazing when you pull modders into the community, right? These modders worked their asses off to make really good looking mods and truly understand the game and the mechanics of the game, and remain true to the series when they were creating all the various mods they've done for it. And I think they did an amazing job, that team of developers, the team of Gearbox, and the team of modders remastering this game. It is probably one of the coolest remasters I've seen, and since, you know, it's been almost 16 years since this game first released, at least Homeworld 1, I gotta say, for a lot of Homeworld fans, this is probably a big deal, and for someone who's just getting into Homeworld, it's something I've thoroughly enjoyed. I think Homeworld really implies a lot of strategic advantage and different concepts with maneuvering your units compared to a lot of other RTS games I've played. Now, I enjoy space RTS. It's a, I guess, somewhat recent development for me because I got into it originally in 2012 with Republic at War. I did a huge video series on this channel covering Republic at War with my buddy Thomas at the time. If you guys are interested in checking it out and you haven't already, I will include a link in the description below this video. But I got into that, and that was very simple, you know, like StarCraft in space with Star Wars. And I thoroughly enjoyed it, but it was basically build up your most powerful units and then butt heads until someone loses, right? And that's what Republic at War was. But I enjoyed the idea of it. And then I got into Sins of a Galactic Empire Rebellion during a Steam sale around 2 years ago at this point in time, and went ahead and played the crap out of that mod with the Star Wars characters. And I've got to admit that This is definitely one of the better games I've played that involves space RTS. So when I got into this, I was a little confused because it's focusing on verticality as well as, I mean, gorgeous animations as you guys are seeing right now. This game is stunning. It looks so good. The music is phenomenal and the atmosphere is built in there. Now, granted, in those 14 or so hours that I've played a lot of multiplayer, trying to learn the mechanics of the game and figure things out. And there is apparently a phenomenal story to this game that I have not played yet. Played a little bit of it on stream on last Wednesday, the night I got it, and then haven't touched it since, but I do plan to go through the campaign once I have a little bit more free time. This is fairly far down on my backlog, and it's kind of something I play for pleasure, you know? But the mechanics are awesome, and I'm going to go ahead and show a combat scenario here as well, just to kind of talk about some of these mechanics. So in this area, I've got 3 battlecruisers. These are one of the most powerful class ships in the game. I'm playing as the Vega as well. The Vega is the race I actually enjoy the most. They're the antagonists in Homeworld 2, if I'm not mistaken, and they focus on a lot of heavy artillery, but you know, a little bit toned down as far as the technology goes. They're not as technologically advanced as the main characters, which I believe are the Hungarians. I could be pronouncing that wrong, and if I am, please let me know. I've just played as the Vega, so I'm still trying to understand how a lot of the game works. But you can see everything looks gorgeous. The detail is phenomenal. You see the missiles going in there, and they take time. You know, that's the one thing I really like about combat in this game, is it takes time. You're going to build up a lot of resources, and you're going to figure out how things work in the game, and then you're going to use those resources. But it's important to use those resources in a way that benefits you. It makes you think tactically, and I appreciate that. It's not something with brute force where you have some crazy mathematical formula, right? And, oh, well, this amount of units will defeat this amount of units. I mean, sure, that aspect's in there, but it's something that is a little more tactical. A battle's not over until it's over, and you can pull out at any given time if you don't think a battle's going to go the way you want. And they also actually have a verticality bit in here too, so you guys are seeing the base movement right now, which this is simply on the horizontal plane, right? I can move wherever I want on the battlefield. And originally when I started playing this game, I had a little bit of gripe with the maps because they felt really small. And then I realized these maps are not just horizontal, they're vertical. So when you're clicking movement, you can actually go ahead and, I believe it's a left or a right click, and then pull the vertical axis up or down as well, and there's a whole vertical thing. So the way I explained it to a couple friends of mine is it's like being in a giant soccer ball, right? It's not just a circle, it's a soccer ball. And you gotta have sensors and send out probes and things along those lines to detect enemies. And that's what makes this game so interesting. It's based on movement and momentum, and that's something I really appreciate about it. So you have the base ship, the flagship of your fleet. Your flagship's actually pretty weak. Think of it as like a mothership or a home base. It's not gonna be very defensible, so you have to have things that can defend it. Then you also have to think about the different modules on your ships. So you can craft a bunch of different modules that'll be on the ship, including research modules, portable defense modules, which focus on gun turrets, although I'm told by some Homeworld veterans on my stream that those are not the best option. And then, of course, the creation of frigates, capital ships, corvettes, which are basically smaller interceptors, so to speak, and then, of course, your fighters, right? And you can have 4 of those bays on the main ship, and then depending on the other ships, you can have them on these smaller ones as well, like carriers, for example. Whereas the battle cruisers, which I'm using right now, while they can carry 5 squadrons of fighters, bombers, etc., they cannot actually build them. So you actually want to stock things up, which I think is really neat as well. It makes you manage your resources like quite well, and I appreciate the pace of this game because, guys, it's really slow, and I like that because it makes you think. And when it comes to a lot of the fast games, like I was saying earlier, you're just pounding your head against the wall. This game makes me think and consider. For example, with these battle cruisers, the main weapon, of course, is the Trinity cannon. It's the 3-pronged laser cannon you guys are seeing me shoot at these guys. Now, you know, someone can send a bunch of bombers and attack my engine and take out my engine. Well, then I can't maneuver these battle cruisers into a position where I can use that Trinity cannon, and it really provides a sense of weakness. Now, previously, when I had played games like Empire at War, and when I had played games like Sins of a Galactic Empire, I guess mods, technically speaking, you know, I could lose my engines and stuff, and they could target specific gun turrets, but it didn't really feel like much of a threat. Here it does. I can be caught dead in the water and be forced to send repair drones. And it's the same thing with the resources, too. The resources are, you know, based around these asteroids. You have to use resource collectors to farm these asteroids. But the thing I like about this game is there are plenty of resources available in the actual game, and when you take out a lot of larger ships, or even some of the smaller class ships, there's actually remnants, so to speak, of the ships themselves that are sitting there that you can actually go salvage for more resource units. It's really awesome. I think this game's very well thought out. The tactics are in there, and with the resources too, the reason they have these asteroids is so you're forced to move around and explore the battlefield. They don't want this to just be a giant tank game. They want you to think about it. And I like that. I really like that about this game, and it's something that I'm trying to get a little more into. I love the verticality, I love the different movement, and the fact that this is a 16-year-old game, the base Homeworld. Right now, I mean, this is Homeworld 2 Remastered. That's the multiplayer you guys are seeing right now. But the fact that this game is so old and it features some of the most advanced mechanics I've seen in Space RTS blows my mind. And I seriously can't thank Ashley and the Rooster Teeth people who decided to cover this enough, because I would have passed this game up entirely. And I think getting the original 1 and 2 Homeworld, which by the way are fully moddable, there's still mods that came out in 2012, 2011, 2013 even, that completely redo those games. So getting that giant access to a bunch of mods, getting a giant mod collection, and then also getting the base games plus the remastered versions, you're getting 4 games, 2 of which you can mod. The remastered versions I'm sure will be moddable in the future because they were, you know, created by modders. And it's an amazing experience. This is definitely a Space RTS game that I would recommend to you guys. Again, I'm very amateur when it comes to this specific game, but I have played a lot of Space RTSs on the channel, which is why I felt this game deserved a little bit of coverage. So if you guys have any questions about it, feel free to ask me in the comments below. This is early footage from my first night of playing. I've since played a lot more, and I haven't really captured a lot more footage, but I have played it on the stream, so that exists. There's a lot of amazing stuff in this game, like modules, cloaking, the hyper jumps, the hyperspace jumps. I mean, everything like that. It's really cool. There's a lot of tactics, and I'll probably end up doing another video on it, to be honest with you guys, if that's something you'd want. So if you have any questions or comments, please drop them in the comments below. If you guys are Homeworld veterans too and can give me any tips, I would appreciate those as well. But that's going to go ahead and wrap it up for this video. Like I said, it's just a welcome to. We're back in space, and thank you guys so much for watching. So if you enjoyed it, hit that like button. Feel free to subscribe for more content on a weekly basis. And other than that, guys, my name is Nick, otherwise known here as Avialence, and I'll see you guys in the next video.